welcome to Be Transpired. My name is Ariana Rose, and this is my brow tutorial. Keep on watching if you want to see how I fill in my brows, and also if you want to learn some tips and tricks on how you can fill in your brows. So to start off, you want to make sure that your brows are groomed and trimmed. You don't want them to be super long, and you don't want them to be super short. So find a happy medium, and you really want to just look at your brow and look at your brow shape, and you want to create a shape that is most similar to the natural shape of your brow. So just go with what you have. If you don't have a lot of brow, you can just follow the brow bone and the shape of your eye and sort of play around with the most natural way to do it. I recently just picked up a couple of Anastasia Beverly Hills products. There are so many different brow products that you can use, anywhere from powders to pomades to pencils, and not one is better than the other. They're just going to give you different looks and effects, and just the way that you use them is different. So just find something that you really like. Lately, what I've been really liking to do is just use a brow powder. I feel like this has been giving me the most natural look. Since my brow hairs are a little bit more, or since they're a little bit lighter than my hair color right now, I have to darken them a little bit, but it's hard to do that in a natural way. So powder is what's been working out best for me. And I am just using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Duo Powder in dark brown. So I always like to start off with my better brow. This brow has a scar in it, so I leave that to the last because I have to do a little bit more shaping, and I want to match this brow to my better brow, so that's why I do it first. Now I'm just going to start off with an angled brush. This is Max 208. It has natural fibers in it, which is good for powders because it picks up the product a lot better than a synthetic would. You want to use a synthetic angled brush if you're using more of a pomade. And I like it because it's very small and short, so you're able to really get in between the brow hairs, and it's really easy to shape your brow with this brush, and that's why I like it. So I'm just going to start with the lighter color in the Brow Duo, and I'm going to start right through the front. And I always like to start underneath the brow, right where it starts to slightly arch up. And I'm just going to deepen that a little bit and just start defining the brow. And you want to always go with your brow hairs. So just do little flicking motions up through the hairs. Now for this front area, everybody likes to do it differently. More squared off or more rounded, but I just think that you should keep it as natural as possible. You don't want it too square because then it can start looking too harsh. So now I've filled that in, just sort of in the front area, and you can see it looks a lot larger than out here, so I need to even that out. Now I'm going to mix the darker and the lighter shade, and I'm just going right underneath my arch, and I'm just defining that, and then bringing the tail down. And then I'm going to go on top. My brow tends to get a little pointy here. I like to round it out a little bit more, and I'm just going to do that with the same blend of both colors. And I'm going to start right through here, the same area where I started on the bottom, but just on the top. And I want this to be really soft, so I'm just doing little motions, and then through here I'm just rounding that out a little bit. So now I've got this top area here, and I need to connect this top part to the bottom. So I'm just going to do that with the same blend of colors, and I'm just going to drag a line through there. Now your brows can really change the shape of your face. So also when you're going to do your brows, and you're just trying to figure out a good shape for you, look at your eyes and look at your face structure. If you have really narrow eyes, you don't want to bring your brow in too far because it's going to bring your eyes even closer together. You might want to draw more attention and deepen the outer corners of your brows. If you have very wide set eyes, do the opposite. You're going to want to bring your brows in a little bit more, and that's going to help even out the eye shape. Another trick for filling in your eyebrows is using any sort of brush or just straight object, and you want to put it right at the side of your nose like this and just hold it straight up. Now right where it lands there is where you want your brow to start. And then if you hold it on the same place of your brow and just right through the center of your eye, that's exactly where you want your brow to arch. And then if you go through the end of the eye at the same place, that is where you want your brow to end. So that is just a good way to map out your brow and the exact shape of how your brow should look that's going to most complement your face. Now that I've got this brow done, I'm just going to go through with my spoolie and brush it through again just to sort of pick up any extra product. This just softens it a little bit and makes it look more natural. Also, when you're doing your brows, you really want to look at yourself from different angles. Make sure to look down so you could see the top angle of your brow. And now when I do this, I can see that right through here, I need to fill it in a little bit more. So I'm going to just add the lighter color and just fill that in. And then look from the side angle so you could see the side of your brow and how it goes. And then you can look from this side and look up, and that way you could really see the bottom of your eyebrow and if it's even and where you need to adjust your brow. So I need to just a little bit right through here. And if you make any mistakes don't worry about it. You can always go back and clean it up. I like to go in with a concealer just to define under my brow, and that just helps to further define it, highlight my brow so it looks a little bit more lifted. It's sort of like an eraser, which is pretty awesome. I like to do both brows before I go in and define that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do my other brow. Now, if you have any sort of scar or bald spots, you're going to have to use a darker product to make it look even and like that doesn't exist. So I'm just using the darkest color and doing more of a patting motion to really press the product into there to help conceal that scar. So what I like to do is take a cream concealer, something that's harder, that's not liquid, and I like to use a flat brush. You can use any one that you want. This is one from MAC and it's number 212. I'm just going in with a concealer, and I like to use a shade that's a little bit lighter, and I'm just going to clean up underneath the brow and further define it. And I start out in the same exact place that I started filling my brows in. And I'm just going to take a little bit of product. I'm going to create a line however I want it to be defined, and then I'm going to pull that down. And then I like to just take my finger and just sort of pat, and then it's nicely blended. Then I like to take no additional product and just go along the top part just to help define my brow. I don't like to put concealer over there because it tends to make it look a little too harsh. Now I came down too far with that, and so I'm just going straight back in with the powder, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other side. Now after I do that, I just sort of go through and do one more spoolie, mainly just in the front because I like there to be not too much product through there so it looks more natural. And you want to go up right in the front and then over on the sides. And to finish off my brows, I'm using a tinted brow gel from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is an Espresso. I like it because it just tints my brows a little bit because like I said, they're a little bit lighter. After filling them in, it's fine. I could just use a clear one, but I have this and I like it. It keeps them in place really nicely. The only trick if you do have this product is you want to be very, very light-handed with it. And just be really careful because, especially if you have lighter skin, if you get it on, it's really easy to get it on your actual skin, which you don't want. And you have to sort of get it off right away because once it dries down, it does not move. It's crazy. You can see how much brows can have an impact on your face, how much they can sort of lift up your eyes, and it's almost like a facelift. It could take time to figure out the perfect brow for you. I'm changing mine all the time and changing different products, different shapes, different ways I like to do it, but this is just how I currently am. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of an additional highlight underneath my brow, and I'm just using my Mercier highlight powder and a Sigma E55 brush. So when you're doing a brow highlight under your brow, play around with doing one that's shimmery and one that's matte. If you have more mature skin, I recommend doing more of a satin or a matte finish. Also, if you have a lot of shimmery eyeshadow, you could do a matte. If you want a little more dimension, it will help to make your shimmers pop a little bit more. I could have done that since I do have a lot of shimmer on my face, but I just did shimmer because I felt like it and I just wanted to be shimmery and glowy, which is totally fine. But choosing a matte and a shimmer will do different things for you and for the other makeup that you've already applied. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys picked up some new tips and tricks, and subscribe if you want to see more tutorials. Watch my last video here. Have a wonderful day. Bye!